So, what are some of the things that are missed out and not spoken about when it comes to manifestation, law of attraction, and creating? Hi, my name is Elizabeth Eleanor, and I'm an intuitive empath that has had some crazy manifestation processes from 3 shooting stars to meeting the love of my life on the beach. My last name used to be Payne, Payne, and his last name is Makepeace. When you're in alignment, when you're in fifth dimension, then you get to experience the magic that is available to us all and our highest potential. And then you get to have some crazy, crazy experiences. This is what it's meant by unplugging from the matrix, right? So let's back up a bit. What are some of the things that are not spoken about when it talks about creating? And most of us know that you hear when it comes to manifesting that you've got to go into the space of what it is that you want to create and start experiencing it now, right? So anyone that's been into Law of Attraction with Esther and Jerry Hicks, you know that they talk about this escrow that's available as soon as you have this desire that's available to you, like you throw it out, you have it there, it's already available to you, and now you've just got to line up with it. Well, that's the thing. It's the lining up with it, right? That's the part that can be a bit challenging. So I want to share with you a few processes or experiences that I've had. So I personally have had all sorts of crazy experiences. Yes, I had 3 shooting stars come and into the sky at exactly the same moment as I was asking for confirmation that I was on the right path, that I was spiritually waking up and that everything was going well, right? This is 27 years ago. I have had everything from Oleander Street to Oleander Drive. When I decided to share the experience of following energy threads that the universe is showing you and offering you as you line up with these creations, I decided to call it Follow the White Rabbit because my theme in my business, I have a process called the Ascendance Code. My theme is Alice in Wonderland, right? So I decided to do Follow the White Rabbit. Well, within a couple of days, I'm in the kitchen really early in the morning, and usually it's Tim that's in the kitchen, not me. And here I was, exactly the right moment, as there's a hare in the middle of the road at 5:30 in the morning on a suburban street right next to the beach. Like, it's so unheard of. Hadn't seen it before, haven't seen it since. I mean, the ears were this big, right? It was huge. And right as I was there, and it sat there for a moment and just looked at me, we had this moment together. Tim got a picture of it before it raced off, but never seen it before and never seen it since. So when you're lined up with your creations, then you have these unbelievably magical moments that, even some of my clients say they're beyond what other people can do, but it's not true. When you line up, then these are the magical moments that you have the opportunity to create. And if you've been someone that's been able to manifest for a little while, you're getting the triple numbers, you're getting the car parks, you're getting the things that are presented, but they're still in your comfort zone, right? They still are things that are realistic. Then this information is for you, because when we can step out of the ordinary and start recognizing that we have extraordinary skills to create and manifest, that's when you get the rabbits in the middle of the road. That's when you get the 3 shooting stars. That's when you walk down the beach and you're the only one there and he walks past, right? And you get Payne to make peace. Like, these are the things that can happen if you believe, right? But what happens is we've got this cap on what's real and what can be, what is allowed, right? The world belief that we have been conditioned to believe in, that have been locked into our system, right? So let's talk it through. First of all, when it comes to manifesting, we can manifest from 2 different places. We're creating all the time, right? I just want you to, we're honestly creating all the time. Often like 98, 99% of the population are manifesting from their unconscious, from stuff that they learnt and locked into their head when they were 0 to 7 years old, that, you know, they believed because everybody told them, and then they made up this story. Like you may have made up this story that you weren't good enough, right? You weren't worthy for love, you weren't worthy of success, you weren't worthy of having it all, right? This gets locked in, and now this is the set point that you're creating from. And so when you're in that space, you're creating unconsciously, and you know, you're drifting, you're on social media, you're doing doom scrolling, you're watching Netflix, whatever it might be, and you're not focused on what your end result is. So when you're creating from that place, you're creating from lack. The other side of that, the flip side of that, is you can create from your true choice. Now, this is when you're lined up with your soul. You've got that really strong relationship with your higher self. Your future self is guiding you as well, right? The future self is dropping in these little nuggets, what I call you know, the white rabbit moments, where you're just lining up all the pieces because you're just following the directions that your higher self is offering you, because you have been tuned in and you're focused and you're dedicated and you're committed to creating what your soul chose to come down and experience this time around. So that's a true choice, right? So that's the first area where we can get little wobbles, is if you're creating from lack or if you're creating from a true choice. So that's the first one. The second one is the one that everyone talks about with law of attraction, is you've got to be it now. You've got to embody the process, right? You've got to become the person that's in that escrow that they talk about. You have to be the one that is sitting in that vibration. Now, that doesn't mean that you think about it once and off you go. What it means is actually being in that place where you know it's a given. Now, I'm not talking about it being every single moment of every single day. However, because we live in a world of unconsciousness, plugged into the matrix, because we live in that world, the moment you wake up, if you aren't giving yourself at least an hour in the morning, unplugged from the system, unplugged from the social media, unplugged from the Wi-Fi, everything that, you know, unplugged from all the things that are going to influence you, if you don't spend that time first thing in the morning and potentially a little bit in the afternoon, maybe even an hour of a nighttime, where you're in your own energy and you're embodying that feeling of it's working. I have this result. I am in love. I am abundant. I am healthy and vibrant. I'm living my true choice. When you're living in that, when you're embodying that, that's when that frequency can, now the universe goes, I'm hearing that tone. I'm hearing that that zing from that experience, that realization, the proof that it's reality, right? The universe goes, I know that tone. And so therefore moves all the particles together to create that tone in your reality, because that's the way it works, right? When you're in the tone of going into waking up, you know, our mind starts straight away and starts thinking of all the things that we've got to do. And, you know, oh, I'm late for work, or, you know, like I had a fight with my husband last night, or, you know, whatever it might be. And bang, 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 you've got kids to look after. You know, you're thinking about school lunches, whatever it might be, all of those things that start coming into your mind, those things then take over your day, right? And now you're in a vibration of so you've got this lower vibration, right? And the universe goes, oh, yeah, I know this pattern. I know this behavior. I know this tone. And so that's when you start getting the red lights when you want green lights. That's when you miss out on those car parking moments. Those things is because now you're out of whack with the frequency of abundance, with the frequency of your higher self. And now you're getting, you're walking around the corner and there's someone that's had an accident, right? Or you're moving in the field of distraction, isolation, separateness, brokenness, and then you get chaos in your life, right? You're the one that's getting into arguments with other people. You're getting frustrated. You're getting triggered from old patterns from your childhood, right? So all of these things are because you're not in that zone of really tuning in to being the person that has that result, right? The embodiment of it. The next thing is, then we've got our current reality, right? So it was great for us to be in that embodiment and feeling it and being all present to the moment, all the things. And then we've got reality where, life happens. And those things that bubble up where, you feel stuck maybe because things aren't moving forward. You've been getting into different results, and you may have been getting, these little tiny moments that you can tick off and go, yes, I'm a creator. And then you're not. And they're the moments where we've got to do the work. They're the moments where the beliefs come in and they take over, and they're very silent. They're in the background. They just make you feel like crap, right? You don't remember the thought of not feeling good enough. Just all of a sudden, you know that you're distracted. You're trying to eat the chocolate, going down and buying chocolate from the shop when you know that you shouldn't be. All of the things that happen to distract you because now you're feeling the feelings that you've had for so long of not belonging, insignificant, whatever it might be, whatever your flavor of ice cream is, right? So now you're in that place. And what do you do? How do you fix that? Because that is, here's your escrow. Here is all these beautiful things that are vibrating. You've asked for them. They're there for the taking, and you're over here, right? So what do you do? Well, this is where a whole heap of modalities come in. And through the 27 years of spiritual development that I've been watching and noticing and seeing the shifts and changes as consciousness changes, as I've watched this progress, I've watched where the mindset training comes in, right? NLP, hypnosis, just mindset in itself, like changing the vibration because you're working on your unconscious and your conscious. The thing that I find the most important and the most satisfying and the most thrilling, I've done 7 years of past life regression training when I first spiritually woke up. If you're watching for the first time, I'm on here for 365 days. Every day this year, I am in here and I am giving some information. And what I've noticed over that period of time in the 27 years that I've been on here, I did past life regression, intense training. I'm talking nearly every single weekend we were regressing, and I'm in a woman's book. It was a massive experience, but we could do 1 or 2, maybe 3 sometimes lives at a time before the body couldn't handle working at that capacity anymore because it needed to shift the molecules, right? Well, fast forward to, 2025? In 2020, actually, I discovered the cherry on top of all the things that everyone's been doing. And what's going on is people are still trying to fix themselves, still trying to work out how to fix that lack. And so that lack is going to always be there because we are a limited being sitting here in a limited world where everything's hot and cold, good and bad, right and wrong. We live in duality, right? And as we live in duality, we have this thing that there is brokenness within us, and it is a cesspool of information. We have past lives that we've done damaging things. We've most probably killed people. We've been burnt at the stake. We've lost love. We've had disease. We've been murdered. We've, all of the things, right? We've had depressions and recessions and lost money and blah, 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 blah. And we've had all of the good stuff that goes with it too. But generally that doesn't come up when you go into a past life, because we're often looking at the thing that we're trying to fix. So that's one thing, past life. Then we've got on top of that generational history, right? So we've got generations of generations where we've had the same sort of thing, but it's now locked into our DNA. It's in there. Women or men in our reality that have had trauma and that now is locked in. It's called epigenetics from a science-based principle. All of these things are locked in and causing us to be weighted down. Then on top of that, we've got our childhood traumas, right? Our conditioning from our childhood. All of the things that have made us think that we're not good enough in some form or another, all in our neural pathways, wiring us together so that we are heavy in this field. Well, 5 years ago, I discovered a few things: structure, tension, path of least resistance, and a process called recoding. And what recoding does is doesn't just work with the conscious and the unconscious. It actually goes out beyond that. It goes into the quantum field where all the codes of creation are, all the codes that caused those past lives, all of the codes of family generational history, all of those codes that are in there that are causing us to be at a lower vibration and weighted down in the third dimension. They're all there. And all the codes to create free shooting stars, love of your life, generational wealth, you name it. If someone's done it, it's there and it's available for you, right? So when you go to that level, which is where your higher self is, this is the what I call the subconscious. When you go to that level, you go to the origin of where that code was, and you can neutralize it. You can flick it or switch it off, almost like a cancer cell going back into a healthy cell, right? So now that vibration that was low and holding you stuck in third dimension gets flicked off and can now elevate. It's like water boiling and turning into vapor, right? Now it's got that ability, or steam, to rise. And so, it's changing form. When you can change the form of your current reality, it's stopping you from holding back that escrow. And now you can rise to the occasion and become even more embodied in that second step, right? Which is the embodiment of it. So the next step, the most important step of all of them, though all of them are important, is you've got to take action. When you release the stuff that's going on, that's holding you back, you tuned in, you're all there, you're embodying it, you're experiencing it, it's a true choice. You know your soul is on the path, you know that this is what you're here for, this is your true nature, this is your purpose, and you're in flow with it. You've cleared all the stuff. Your higher self is going to give you a nice big drop in of this is what you've got to do. Inspired action. And in that moment, that beautiful inspired action from your higher self, you've got 24 hours, guys. You got 24 hours before, in fact, even shorter, in my opinion. But you have a small amount of time to take action on what it is that you're being inspired to do from your future self, your higher self, that's giving you information, those little white rabbit moments. You've got a small window of time to take action on that. And if you don't take action on it, what happens? Your unconscious is programmed to keep you limited, to keep you small, to keep you capped. will come in and tell you all the reasons why it is not possible, it's not for you, gives you excuses of why, and you don't take action. And you go, I want to watch this movie. I'm making a choice to watch this Netflix movie. I'm powerful. I know that I'm empowered. And it's my choice to make this decision to sit on the couch and watch this movie instead of going down the beach and meeting the love of my life, whatever it is, right? You got to take action. And that action is not just any action. That action is from your higher self. It's inspired action, dropped in from a part of you that knows way more than what this part of you, this little self, knows. That part of you that is part of the expansive light and wants you to get on board and do all the things that you chose and you wanted to experience this time around on this planet. So you've got to be in a true choice, not lack. And that one in itself can be a challenging experience, right? How do you even find that out? 2, you've got to embody that. Move into that escrow, living it now. 3, you've got to let the stuff come up that's in your current reality that's getting in the way. And you've got to do something about it. You've got to clear it out of your system. If you do mindset, NLP, hypnosis, all of those things, they work. They just take a lot of time. You could do something like recoding and bang, you switch in it, right? And then the fifth experience, the fifth part of this process is that you've got to have inspired action. And part of the process, that's another, actually, number 6. I'm going to give you number 6 as a bonus. Number 6 is when you find yourself in the pattern of behavior, right? Like I call it the Mad Hatter's loop. The Mad Hatter's loop, where you're doing the same thing, people call it Groundhog Day, right? And you're like, there's something I'm missing because I've been here before, When you go into that, it's reflecting and refining. So you reflect on what it is that the results that you've got or the results that you didn't get, where you want to go, and just reflect on what needs to shift. What are some of the things that I need to do? What is this inspired action that my higher self, tune back in, do some meditation, connect in, whatever it might be, do something to move into a different state so that you can see if your inspired action will move you into flow with the universe again. That's basically it. And even though there are times when, if you're someone that has got all of these results and you're getting the car parks and the numbers and you want the shooting stars, but you just haven't got that level yet, the first thing that you've got to know is that it's not you, you're not broken, that there is just some things that you might need to tweak. It might be that there's that seed inside of you that you haven't quite grabbed yet, that has this insignificant, I'm not good enough, whatever it might be. There might be some other things. There might be even strategies that you haven't thought of, like it's the connection to your higher self that is the challenge, right? Whatever it is, I want you to know that you have the ability to do this. If you're someone that wants to move to that next level, this is the work that I do in the Ascendance Code. So grab the link below. My business page, my website is there. We have meditations. We have all sorts of stuff on there, free resources, as well as you can book a call and just check in to see how do you get to that next level? How do you move into that flow, into the 5th dimension, where everything's unity consciousness, and this is where the magic happens? Book a call and we'll be able to talk. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.